Hey guys, I'm David, and this mini course is all about behavior management with devices. All right, so behavior management with devices, and this is going to be a process. So, some rules to live by. First off, don't be afraid, take risk. Students can sense that fear if you have the fear with the devices. If they feel it, they're more likely to do something inappropriate because they know you don't know what you're doing. So if you're fearful, have someone to help when you try something, such as the Medi or the tech coach. Have them in in your classroom. They'd be more than willing to come in your classroom. The next thing is have engaging, personalized, student driven activities. One of the best ways to end behavior issues with devices is to have engaging activities. It eliminates that boredom where students drift. Be willing to change the activity to align more with their interests to make it even more engaging. For example, if someone's interested in comic books, let them do comic books for your content. The next rule is be mobile. If you're afraid of what little Johnny's doing in the corner, there's a real simple solution to that. Get up and go look. It takes a change in mindset. You have to get away from teaching in the front. And we'll discuss some tools to aid getting mobile a little later. Next, have time limits. Personalized learning does not have to be free for all time. Have time limits to keep kids on track and limit how deep they go into a tool. Just Google timers. There's plenty of those online. Next, have a typical activity setup. Personalized learning does not have to be a free for all for learning again. The TIM has a typical setup of goal setting, planning, monitoring progress, and then reflection. If you follow that, kids become trained in this and it helps with classroom management. Next, you don't have to learn every tool, but make the ones you know clear. When you give choices on tools you know. It allows you to learn a few that can be really effective, like something like iMovie. Then allow the kids to pick others, but make it clear which ones you're comfortable helping them on. So basically, you're telling them, if you go off on this other tool, you're kind of on your own. I think you could do a great project with it, but if you need a lot of help, I'm not going to be the one to do that. So if you need a lot of help, the choice you should make is the movie. Next, vet. Just like anything, you need to vet the things that you have kids use. Make sure they're age appropriate there for the age group. Check all the hyperlinks. Make sure that they can't go other places. Check general terms of service. A general rule of thumb is that if it requires a student login, you need parent permission for a child under 13 to use it. Next, have an idea of what common time wasters look like. Many times students waste time on devices on a few common apps and tools. Know what those look like, things like Instagram and Snapchat. A good place to start are the social media tools and games. It also helps you to know what our kids face online. And then have incentives. It takes trust to let kids go and create on devices. Give them incentives to stay on task and do what they need to do. Several tools to do this. There's several tools to do this, which we'll cover later. All right, first off, to make a teacher mobile, some tools to make a teacher mobile. When you're doing presentations, use Nearpod. It allows you to control your presentation content from your iPad with the content going straight to the kids' devices rather than being in the front of the room. It also allows you to add in all kinds of interactive content. You can add all kinds of assessments, websites, and a lot of different things that can really take your presentation up a notch. And it's a great way to become mobile. And the next is AirPlay, AirServer, and there's another one called Reflector if you can get your school to put that on your computer. And the original intent of Apple AirPlay was to stream iPads to Apple TVs. You have that ability to do that on your computer with an app called AirServer, or you can get that ability through buying AirServer or Reflector. It's not currently available at Ridgeview or Paul D. West, but if enough people request it, your administration will probably go that way. And it's a great way for mobility. So some incentives, some ways to do incentives. Keep those kids on task by positive incentives. The first one is called iRewards Chart. And iRewards Chart is an iOS app that basically lets you set up an old-fashioned gold star chart. You set incentives to those gold stars. It's the easiest one to use, but probably trends towards the younger grades. The next is one of my favorites, Class Dojo. Class Dojo is a great tool that allows you to award positive and negative points for behavior. So positive points for positive behavior and negative points for negative behaviors. You can set the behaviors and it will give you a total score. And you can tie incentives to that total score. And it's more in depth than our rewards chart. You can keep more track of what you're doing there. The nice thing here too is that you can add parents into this, where parents can see what's going on in real time and they can connect with this in real time. And last is the more complicated of them. You can do what's basically a mix of World of Warcraft and Class Dojo, where it's awarding points for positive behavior, but you award points to do to take actions within the game. And it turns your classroom into a game. And it's a little tougher to use, and it would work a little better with the higher grades as they would understand it more, but the company actually says that you could do this as low as 3rd grade.